Hello. So you'll be seeing this because this is the way the camera can see you, and you'll be in front of the mic. Is that alright?
That's totally fine.
Alright. So, welcome to the stream, Roman Mondragón. How's your day going? How are you enjoying it so far?
I like it. It's a good music choice. It's chill.
Yep. All the music you hear are from my two friends that I know in real life that make music.
Yeah. Actually, good stuff.
Yep. If you ever want me to play any of your stuff on stream, send me 5 of the things that you think have good messages, 5 songs, and I will add them to the playlist.
Gotcha.
Alright, no worries. You can all enjoy better music. So, what do you... I'm sorry, I cut you off. No worries. What do you think about the emotional captivation involving leader charisma and trickster charisma?
I think, and this is just from standing in education as it is, but I've done a bit of research on and experienced personal life. I think they tie in the same. I think that it's a big product of it. I think captivity trauma too, like from children, can't really back if you're abused. Personality. A lot of sociopaths. I think everyone has an element of that structure. I mean, it's the same as jail, it's the same as celebrity. Game. Eat a dog, it'll attack you, eat it. I think the brain is the same. Some are more severe, but I'll have a full it's just where your brain can't escape fight or flight. Kind of molds your personality. Yeah, and you're just left with no fight or flight, just freeze or fawn, which is a form of dissociation. Yeah. So I think we all have activity in one way or the other.
That makes complete sense to me, because I didn't grow up in a secured home. I didn't grow up with my mom raising me. My dad tried to raise me on his own, and my older brother, but it was too much for him while working on his career in the Air Force and doing everything else he was doing. So he did the most responsible thing he could do, in his opinion, and left us with his grandparents. It was his parents, because he knew if he can't handle it, they'll actually care and they'll do their best.
Yeah.
Before, I used to see it in a different light, but I've matured a lot since then. Now I see it from a more clear perspective. As far as like how that trauma affects people, I think it is a fundamental thing that if people understand the gist of it, they can then plug in all the details and it only makes more sense. So, for example, if I were to give you a bunch of incorrect answers, like say, you're a bitch, or all these other things, because I think you're incorrect and it's inconvenient to me, does that help you learn? True. But what if this is a child? What if this is a 7-year-old? And they're hearing this from the person that's supposed to take care of them and make it a secure home for them?
I agree.
they are always definitely more vulnerable than adults. And like you said, that trauma, they will carry that. They won't forget that.
A lot of times I see, usually in my peer group, a lot of domestic abuse or abusive relationships.
I've had experience of that.
It's kind of the same behavior as a kid. Even in like helping or mediating, treat certain attitudes and situations like children. Find that like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
At one point, I've seen some 40-year-olds that act less mature than unfortunately.
Same. And that's the problem when we choose emotionally gratifying answers over the correct ones, put in our consciousness, and then we get surprised when we start saying things and realizing, oh, wait, that's not what I wanted to really say.
Yeah. Like when emotions are heightened, logic disappears.
Yep.
It's like you have to practice emotion before you enter a situation.
Exactly. That's why I want people to become more aware of what emotional captivation or captivity, either one is a good lesson, and who uses it. Because leaders can use good charisma, and so can Trickster. Good charisma. Good example of that is Martin Luther King. Bad example of that is Hitler. They both had charisma, but they both used it to do two different things, and the results are very different.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to stand on. Is we judge things by what they do, not what. So a lot of people died versus not a lot of people dying.
Yep, and most of the people died. Actually, in both conflicts, the people that died were always dying unnecessarily.
Yeah, it goes deep. Understanding that Hitler and Martin Luther King, as humans, are capable. Same thing, probably not specific circumstances, but
Right.
Sure, if I was raised in Germany at that time, I mean, there's stories of guards that wouldn't just have Jews captive, they would purposely like mess with them. Well, this guy is already stripped of everything. Let's make him carry a pound salt. Awesome, son. Okay, now carry it back. You would get a kick out of it.
Yeah,
Kind
because
of one.
yeah,
Up environmental action. You won't have to go get a kick out of it. This guy is completely stripped of it, and yet, and I still and I have a wife and kids too, and I'm doing good for them. A lot of a lot of them. I think understanding is that something that you have to understand. How do you get to that point, and what practically am I doing that has a parallel to that? Or like, even down to like, I'm gonna get my partner flowers just because I'm worried that they think that I'm being distant. It doesn't come from a place of I want to get this person flowers. It's from a captivation of a
fear, of a fear of loss.
Yeah, and if you don't identify the fear, you could operate all the time. Even texting your boss like, hey man, how can I improve? You don't even care about improving. You just want to like, okay, I want to let him know like, blah, blah, blah. Or I want to let him know I'm serious in case he thinks or maybe I'm in trouble. And there's agendas that we have all the time that don't do that shadow work. You could, you could become a person that if you zoomed out of, you're like, wow, that is totally not who I thought I was.
Yep.
I think emotional captivity in some form until we don't.
Yep. I think that by understanding the different types of emotional captivity and who it comes from, and they get emotionally captivated by someone that they're a fan of, that can help people make better decisions. That kind of clarity, that kind of insight. And I think even drastic examples like MLK and Hitler can be drastic but good at making a point, because there are people that are more center but they still stand on certain sides, like the Myanmar situation.
Educate me.
Okay, so yesterday on stream, one of my moderators sent me a link to a YouTube video that informed me about what was happening. And I hope I'm not butchering this. I believe it's the country of Myanmar, which is, I think it's not here. And those people are getting structures that are mathematically basically walls. Do you understand like the concept of like the 369 and that stairs that help you? Yes, okay, good. They work with 969, and that's a wall. Why? Because they're going to use it to push out all the people that are inconvenient to them. And those people that are pushing that wall, they're getting help from a platform, from a Western land called Facebook, who wants to capitalize on being the main platform for that country. So they post and promote the most popular idea, which is right now getting rid of these people and letting their houses burn and not helping them put out the fires because they think it's good. Which is what happened back in 2012. And these things are escalating, especially after 2016. It escalated, and it's all in this report. I will send the link to you because I made a post about it. I put the link of the video and I put here. I'll just send you the link real quick, because memory is not always the most reliable.
I think there was something to it.
What you're saying might be exactly what this is.
That's probably.
Yeah, because there was a good, honest person that put a report on it on YouTube, right? Is that what you watched?
Probably.
No problem.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. It's the one that you put the white heart under. And I sent to you. It said something like, "The problems of people come from people."
It was. Yeah.
So yep. I'm gonna see if I can flip it. I think most of the sound is actually the back of the phone. Helps. I'm gonna see if this helps the audio.
So people here.
I just want to make sure that the readings are good. I think it's better the other way. All right.
Gotcha.
Yep. Just testing. All right. So yeah, just like how that event is happening, that it's not as extreme as Hitler, obviously, but it is using their same tactics.
Yeah, I think it's anyone that has a choice that says, I'm going to lie for my cause or to complete a goal. I think that's the same extremism. Probably not the same result or degree, but.
Right, because there's different levels of extremism.
Same result. Yeah.
Right. I agree, because when I examine any cult that tries to take over a political party in order to obtain authority, to tell other people what to do based off of their assumptions that they don't want to check, and they'll build superiority complexes on top of their insecurities in order to defend those assumptions. as a coping and defense mechanism. I think anyone that does that and tries to take over a political party is not representing the will of the people of that nation or country or what have you.
I agree. What do you think of, there was this thing about Costco, Kirkland.
All right.
And Kirkland was considered like the gross brand. People would not buy it if it was Kirkland, and then someone did a report on Kirkland saying this is very good quality stuff. It's just people won't buy it and do the research just because it's Kirkland. That's like a small area, same thing. But I think that's another example of we all have that stuff in our brain. Or like, I'm not going to vote for him because he's right wing.
Yeah,
I think that there's tiny things in our life that parallel us to be the same person.
I agree.
And I think that's very important to recognize. It's so easy to make an extreme. I've been in many arguments where people try to make an extreme example. I'm like, can't even go to something drastic. But it's kind of the same in some situations.
I agree. There are similarities, but that doesn't not equal same. For example, I don't think the cult mindset of racism, because I checked, it was a cult mindset. They ran on assumptions, they had the superiority complexes, it's all the same structure. That is still not the same extremism as Nazism. Because one is a form of discrimination, and it does promote genocides, and it has, enforced those genocides. But as it evolved, it became less genocidal. Nazism was completely genocidal, and it also included encampments where they were doing inhumane experiments that weren't even productive.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother level. That, I think, is higher of a level than just traditional racism, especially during segregation times. That form of racism is different than the form of racism before Abraham Lincoln convinced the North that the South is their problem, and the only way for the Union to be good is for it to not have second-class citizens that aren't even considered people, as inhumane, that will destroy our republic from within, and the democracy that it holds. So, we gotta deal with it, even if they don't want to understand. We gotta deal with it, and it was the most bloodiest war we ever had in this land. Yet half was enough. Half of the nation was enough to stop the other half with the incorrect answer.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't need to convince everyone, but if I can convince half, we can resolve this without a bloody conflict. And this is my tactic. This is my tactic. Ignorance is inside all of us, and that is the source of the problem. We can help people kill their ignorance and unlock their minds. If they choose to put the locks back on, that is their choice. That is who they are. That's who they're going to be for now. That doesn't mean we justify violence. It means we move on. And let's see who uses the keys to unlock their mindset. Because those are the right people. As far as they want to accept the correct answers and they want to prove it with their choice. Those are the people we can consider real, honest people. And real, honest people, when they become good and have good organization, we can make good change without hurting people and only helping them choose to get rid of their ignorance so they can get the gold of all the knowledge that ignorance is hiding.
I think first someone has to realize that you can convince till the cows come home, but if it was so easy to convince, I mean, I think the South would be like, oh no, totally, makes perfect sense.
I understand. There are those that want to keep their locked mindsets. There's nothing I can do about that. But for the people that were just tricked The people that are not the trickster, but the tricked. Oh, they want the truth. Especially in Seattle. I've tested it. I've gone to Starbucks.
Oh yeah.
I've gone to Jack in the Box. I've gone to McDonald's, and I've spoken honestly with people. Sometimes all of them at once, and they still listen because I actually have correct answers, and it captivates them. It might seem insane, but speech is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And
It's almost all we have in this.
yep, and I've learned that the truth is reliable, the ignorance is predictable. And that is not the same. So when you give someone something reliable, and then they pick it up, and they use it to free their mind, and they start applying it in their life, and they see the good results that come out of it, think they'll want to go back? Or will they want accountability from the people that tricked them? After that, I think it's all about good guidance and good organization. For example, there are petitions that are effective and there are petitions that are not effective. It's all about how you do it and who you hand that petition to.
Yeah.
So we need honest, real representation, and that does exist. We just have to check their principles, their practices, and the values that come out of it. Because that'll tell us what kind of work they do and whether or not we can actually trust them. Those are the people we need to hand the petitions to. And this is what it should be. One is a page of the signatures. The second page is the reason why they decide to sign it. That is the format that I'm going to use with good advocates using good organization because I started a group. You remember that group? You're a part of it. What is the name of that group? If you don't remember, I can say it.
Say it. Brain. It's not brainy.
Remember you joined a group called Real Honest People?
Oh yeah.
That is what I'm going to turn into a good organization. Because I know the truth. I can't put anti in front of racism and make it good just because it won't be mean anymore. It'll be the opposite. It'll be nice. Come over here. It's a safe space. You can stay here for hours. We'll surround you and make sure it stays nice. And then they practice social instituted segregation. Isn't that what happens when you try to reverse government instituted segregation? Like they did in racism? So I don't think it's good just because it feels nice to them. So I want to hold those organizers accountable to all the real good people to see if they can actually read. And they read people's signature. And they read the reasons why they signed them. And can they accept it? And I want to do this by inviting them on an interview on why they should practice anti-racism. What do you think?
I think someone has to see that their ideology. I think someone has to question everything. It's like if you take it from a more practical or aspect, everyone knows it's wrong to cheat. Everyone knows it's bad to do certain things, but everyone does them. So I think if someone's like, yeah, I know racism is bad, like subliminally or subconsciously, but I can't stand blah, 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 and I'm okay with that. And what is it that makes someone not okay with that? It's usually just experiencing new, or it's like, actually, I worked with these people and it'd be cool. I don't think it's like, hey, this is bad. Why is it bad? So from my experience, I've only got robbed from these type of people, or these people are always lazy, or blah, blah, and you have absolute reason why is your belief. So I think people need to question, why would I want to change that? It doesn't affect me. It's usually you start change, or you start loving people, or you start loving humanity, most people are like, humanity, what makes you think I give a shit? It doesn't affect me. Until someone actually is,
but they're a
wants
part of it.
change. Yeah, I know.
That's the absurdity. But continue.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like, this doesn't affect me, and I know it's good, but I'm scared I'm gonna lose my job. I'm scared I'm gonna break up with my boyfriend or girlfriend. I have a bunch of stuff that's right in my face. Why do I need to zoom out and focus on something that doesn't affect me? Well, it does affect them, but it doesn't.
Yep.
And it could be like, great, Ryan Johnson is pesticide free, all this stuff. It's like the healthiest food in the world.
Nice.
But I get so happy when Butterfinger Snickers, so why should I? And do I have the strength to actually want to eat healthy? It's so easy to not eat healthy, and I'm scared of unfamiliarity, so why should I not eat this candy bar? It doesn't affect me. I don't feel health results right away.
Yep.
And it's figuring out, am I? Why does it do what my brain does? Why don't I want to change?
I think it mostly comes down to a lack of experience. Because they didn't explore, they didn't experience. Because they didn't experience, they didn't receive a reward. Because they didn't receive a reward, they don't know the value of carrying that reward and bringing it back home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I was homeless, so I know how hard it is. Tell if a homeless guy to try to change. I'll buy him a sandwich. I'll drive him to here. But
same for me.
Homeless, I don't.
Same for me. I also was previously homeless, and it took a lot before I could fix myself inside and start doing things that were necessary.
Yeah. It's like, pain matures you, and then pain creates desire. If you're comfortable, then there's no point.
Yep. Hey, pain and fear are powerful motivators.
Yeah, I think it's nice to do public and open game. I used to play one part where they say
a good game.
Where they say, yes, it is. When you're at the Sith Academy, she's like, it's the immutable law of the universe that people don't want to face. Conflict forces change, evolution, adaptation. Without conflict, there's only stagnation. And I think it said,
yeah,
stagnation and comfortability is of deterioration and depression. But you're comfortable, want everything easier. The whole point of technology is to make things easier. So
right.
How do you say, hey, I want to go so I can get smarter, intelligent? Who wants to do that? We only learn life through death. Who wants to die? It's like you have to.
You have to accept it.
Honest. Why should I be honest with myself? There's no reward, like you said.
The way I put it is, honesty is the guide that knows the way to the truth. If you don't let honesty guide you through the road of accountability, which will require more honesty with each step, and it's not an endless journey, it's about 20 steps. Does that count?
Yeah.
And by the process of letting yourself go through that process, you become strong enough to now be able to be possible for you to even grasp that truth. Then you have to continue doing the work. Your mind has to be able to grasp it. So for me, I trace the circumference of the concept so my mind can grasp it. And every time I get something valuable and I bring it back to conclude the circle, and then I weigh it and decide whether or not this is for me. Because not every truth is what you need. No one needs every truth in the world. You need all the truths you need to get to where you want to go.
Hopefully where you want to go is at least for something that involves everyone else's wants as well. Because it's really easy to say, hey, I got mine, got my cabin, got my dog, got my job. Screw everyone else.
Yes, it's easy to say, I'm done learning because I'm satisfied.
Yeah, hopefully. I think empathy is a form of higher intelligence. I think if you don't have empathy for other people,
yes,
you're evolving wrong. That's just my opinion.
No, I completely agree. That is completely correct to me. For me, the limitations that reality teaches me tells me where the bounds of what I call necessity are. The bounds of necessity tell you when you are being empathy and when you are escaping that and going into naivety. When you go into naivety, it starts turning into a negative stat because it's in excess, it's beyond the bounds of necessity of what is empathy. Because it's good to have empathy, but it needs to be in the bounds of empathy.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't have empathy to the point that you are hurting yourself or maybe other people. And I've seen a lot of that. A lot of that, especially in politics. And because their practices tell them make it intersectional, intersectional, not sexual, sectional. Everywhere. Now it's everywhere. It's in schools, it's in my movies, it's in my video games, it's in politics, it's in the culture, it's in the tech.
Yeah. It's traits of associating with love.
Yes.
Like desperation, like no, I need this my girlfriend or boyfriend right now. It's, if there's not a place of peace that's coming, we stake the completion factors or dopamine cycles or
Right.
serotonin or feel good chemicals. We seeing that as love when it could be very dangerous.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
even yeah. I don't think that people realize that most of society problems that we fix out of love actually create like 10 problems.
Right. Because love has its own bounds. When you escape that bounds, your love becomes toxic. It becomes a negative stat instead of plus stat.
Yeah. Becomes conditional and completionary.
That's right, because perfect to nothing is an emotional response, but the correct answer it's trying to reach for is 0 to complete.
Yeah.
Because that is always enough. It works for my lifespan, it works for me making a meal and eating it, it works for me getting from point A to B. It just works. As Bethesda once said back when they made good games.
I think that's just like the base survival stuff and I think that love that which takes you out of that survival. Almost like a mother sacrificing her happiness for a child, or a lot of the well-being of a child. I think
Yes.
that's more of them. And it goes the opposite way too. I know many parents who are like, I need to mold my kid in this image so that people can look at me and say, wow, what a great kid I have. That's
That is
survival.
exactly my father.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
People could look on the outside. They can look on the outside and be like, wow, he treats his kid so good. Look at all he got his kid a gold chain at 8 years old. Wow. And people can look at the traits, the byproducts of an attitude, and deem that as, well, okay, that must be love. Look what it's doing.
Yeah, and I get what you mean. For me, it's like, did he teach him a lesson about the necklace or chain that he got for him? Or is it just a material? Because giving people a material doesn't teach him much. But if you tell them what something represents, now you're adding meaning to it. And if it's good meaning, it can teach a good lesson.
I think that's very good. I think, yeah, because I see it that in a lot of relationships too. Like, hey, I bought her flowers, I buy her food all the time, I'm about to buy her a car, she's just always bringing up problems.
Sounds like a lack of meaning behind the material.
Yeah, I don't even think she knows why he's doing that. Or she doesn't appreciate it because she gets that from all her exes, or whoever, or he gets it from all his exes.
Yep.
Yeah. I think only a lack we can actually appreciate. Maybe that person is giving because they experienced lack, but the person they're giving it to never experienced lack, so they don't care. Same with outdated social cues.
Yep. I need to work on my
Without
social cues. I keep interrupting people.
it's such an easy habit, especially if you're passionate about what you're trying to say. Your brain just like visionary, force it all out. But even like my dad used to take me at like 10 years old to a coffee shop and get a coffee and chat with the girls. And at 10 years old, no one wants to talk to you about me back in the 80s. And she's trying to make your coffee and get the next customer. I would stay there for like 10 minutes and chat up, and he thought he was amazing. Yeah, there we go. And I'm like, Dad, how are you almost? And then she doesn't want to talk to you. Why am I smarter socially than you? It's because I think he didn't want to. I think it was all about him. Selfishness is.
Well, people change as they grow up.
Survival can stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they need to. I think they got it. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our experiences mold us.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, it was either bad experiences that told them, no, this is the correct way that really works because I saw it and it worked back then. So it must be working now still. Not understanding that culture changes, people change, people mature over time.
Yes.
What worked in the past may not work in the future.
Mm-hmm. And does it work for the next generation?
But the cool
Does
thing...
it help my friends around me?
Yes. The cool thing about...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're all good. The cool thing to me, in my opinion, about the correct answers compared to the emotionally gratifying one, is that when you really get down to the root and the core of the concept, you can find things that are timelessly true. For example, here is one concept that is true. What do you need to have a civilization, period? There is one correct answer at the root of it, of that concept.
Population.
Yes, what equals a population? What two things do you need?
Educate me.
Children and parents. Without children and parents, there is no civilization that lasts. There is no real civilization without children and parents. They are always the cornerstone of every civilization of all time. That's what makes it a timeless truth, by tracing the root of that concept.
It sounds like it should be topic.
Yeah, it should be what our representation in politics should be focused on. The dynamic between the child and the parent and making their life easier because that makes their civilization stronger. But what are we doing? We're increasing divorce rates. We're doing all these other things. We're using old tactics. Some of it is rooted from slavery. And saying this is a good way to teach them how to be disciplined. And I didn't like it when it happened to me. I don't think any child's gonna like it when it happens to them.
And fine line between that passionate or I didn't go to.
Oh yeah. For me,
there's not enough data.
all of the necessary experiences gave me my necessary result. All the unnecessary experiences didn't help me with that. It hindered my progress in learning. It hindered what I could give to other people.
In what ways?
When I am not able to express myself because I am full of fear and concern of my own safety within my own home, because I know if I make a mistake, something that's natural, especially while you're a child, I'm gonna face unnecessary punishment instead of necessary punishment. A timeout compared to whipping someone with a belt. That's what I mean.
Another thing.
That scars me, even if it doesn't scar my body, and that will carry until I figure out I need to drop it.
Yeah. I think growing up I grew up in an abusive household as well, but it was one of those disguised as, oh, daddy loves me, kind of like you whip a dog and it'll still come back to you because that's its owner and you're loyal to it. But I don't think any time to shape that constant survival. And I think when you're old, and I think there's a couple studies on this where when you're older, find an ideology that's just like, stay away from me, or like, just let me be, and it never goes on expanding to other people. It's just, okay, I finally got a break, I finally got my job, my career, screw everyone else, I'm okay. And I think that belief system or structure comes from not being able to formulate beliefs or empathy or social exchanges, interaction, because you're always having to wear a mask to protect yourself from parents' rage. I think if a kid has time to express himself without emotionally
gratifying answers.
Yeah, with an element of conflict. It could go to the same result of stay away. In fact, in a way, some say designed to not have that be a result. Be reliant on the government system. They don't want you to think for yourself. The hassle happens. Work you. A bunch of intelligent people, and our system isn't working. So just like over there and let's figure it. I think that's just dangerous.
I agree. That is exactly the kind of experience that I had to go through. Don't want anyone else to do it. Especially the generation that's going to come after Generation X, which is looking very strong. They're looking very strong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got my baby sister. She's just getting into the beginning of middle school. So she's going to be... She's ridiculously smart. She is so mature. And she surrounds herself with good friends. She's going to be someone important.
I think systems can also develop due to, oh, I have to protect my siblings from, or I have to protect my friends. We're in a foster home. There's 8 of us, all fending against. Like, I have to practice, should I betray these people? Safety? Or should we band together and say, no, that's not cool? Or should I just like sacrifice myself? I did it. I stole the pen. It really tells you, develops your beliefs depending on tiny different factors. Like, did you grow up and play outside a lot? Do you have a good imagination? How good are you? Stick. This is Harry Potter. Or did your parents teach you that's a stick? Not being stupid. Right, that's a stick. Oh, those other kids are playing with sticks and ones. Kids. I think there's a lot of politics, especially in the British, in NATO. Wow, that is a trait of a child. That cycle, that belief of how they want to do this. I want to do this. Sounds like this is my toy, and if I let you play with it, you're gonna take it. Instead of like, how can we make more toys?
How can we make more toys?
Like
That's such a good mindset.
You can pick up the spirit. I think we're all just kids.
I agree.
I
agree. We just have this thing called cell expansion span. And I've noticed that like cell expansion gets somewhat complete and then starts replacing cells at age 25 usually. Usually the time people start feeling nostalgic. I think that might be
Mhm.
related to the cell expansion cycles.
I think that's when the stops growing. Or like
Yes,
the
but it does replace other cells. So you aren't the same cellular being that you were in the beginning. You are now
Mhm.
the next evolution of that, which means you
Yeah.
cannot reverse it and go back, which is obviously
Yes.
true because of time
Yeah.
and
I think it's every.
natural accumulation.
Yeah. I think it's every 7 years.
Yep.
And get new cells. I think it's. I have to find what's. Is, I'm not confident in saying this because I heard it from a very third-party source. But they were saying even DNA, trauma that's stored in your DNA, and when you have kids, it passes on. But if you wait 7 years and become a new person, um, you can kind of reverse that. Or, oh, I know I had my first kid, not case, but 15 years later, I had my last kid. And they're totally, I'm a new person and I had to raise my kids. Not but I think kids do that. I mean, kind of like the movie
I
Idiocracy,
agree.
where all the smart people are like, we got faith, sons that gotta wait,
Yep.
job more. And all the students, oh, we got 15 kids, where'd they go? Oh, no, they ran away. Oh, well, let's have more. And I think,
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
not just America.
No, yeah, of course, not just America. That's like saying intelligence and stupidity is unique to this country. Like, no, not even close.
Yeah.
So that's this is usually how my podcasts, or I guess these are live streams. This is usually how my live streams go. I try to get through as many topics as I can, which are the diameters of these concepts, then trace the circumference so people can follow along with the journey. If they don't listen, then they'll lose out on what we gain bringing it home.
Go for it.
But yeah, I think that this discussion between leader charisma like Luther King, Trickster charisma, what led the Nazis, Hitler, is hilarious because his own answer would kill him, because he's Austrian and he wants a perfect world with blonde hair and blue eyes that he can't fill the quota. Isn't that beyond absurd? He's not even German, he's Austrian. Telling all the Germans what they need to do.
People don't know about that part.
Oh, it's a common misconception to believe he's just some German.
Yeah, no.
He was German. Why does he have black hair and not black eyes like a lot of the Germans? But yeah, no. I want real leaders who are actually representing the real people that they are actually a part of, to get them to freedom when they are, segregated and separated from other people that have other people on the other side that want to interact with them. Music broke a lot of that barriers, improved it, especially in that time when they had segregated crowds. And then when he would move from one side of the stage to another, they would start lifting the ropes, going over there. Because he's a smart artist. And it's unfortunate that his work got copied and pasted and added with a little bit of enhancement, and then he doesn't get paid for it. And then he gets thrown in jail because he brings someone across the border who's a different race than him, and that at the time, that's illegal. Yeah. I love the whole Cadillac Records movie. That movie is such a good freaking documentation of that time and how music affected it there. Oh, it's a great movie. It's so educational. It talks about all the artists who affected good change through Cadillac Records. It was started by a poor Italian who was trying to get someone's father's grace to marry his daughter, and he wouldn't because he's a poor Italian, and he didn't bring his daughter all the way over here to marry some poor Italian. Then in the movie, he's like, well, you know what? Fine, do that. But my wife, she's gonna drive a Cadillac. And he started Cadillac Records, and he found good artists. change the world. Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, can't recommend that one enough. Moving on, I think we kind of covered this enough. I think it's time for the next topic. Oh. Good processes prevent unnecessary stress. This is a smaller concept, but it's valuable. What do you have in experience that when you enhanced a process, it prevented unnecessary stress? Do you have like any real life examples from your experience?
Good processes. I think you should start this one.
All right, no worries.
On
Fair enough, it's my stream after all. Good processes. What are good processes? In my opinion, good processes can be conducted when you start with good principles that guide them on how you should practice in order to get the correct values you want in your result. I think it's as simple as that. So what are the good principles? Well, they're based on the timeless truths. The timeless truths are the good guides that tell you how good practice can be formed. There are different domains, so you must understand the truths that apply to that domain. Like baseball practice, that's its own domain. You have to understand pitching, you have to understand people's swings, you have to understand how they use their hips to generate more power than just their arms. You have to understand the correct running technique and when to apply it. You have to understand when you want to take the risk of being off the plate to see if you can gain a good advantage. You have to take all these things into account. How hard you have to hit the ball and where on the bat in order to gain a home run. And all these good practices that they do with drills, with conditioning, with all these things, they come from good principles first. They are formed the timeless truths that apply to that domain.
You see it all the time. Start out with, and over years you say, okay, this works better. I grew up, and out of my same thing. They worked on cars, and when they started out, just like scratch and never cars, and it evolved into like company.
Oh yeah.
Probably multiple. That's a lot of my family is still doing it. They have evolved it with their own. Like my brother, a complete hellhound. Like he could probably make, like, if he wanted to, 10 grand a week easily doing what he does.
Oh, wow.
And he's adapted the old business towards speed and what he specifically needs. I think if he were to practice their methods, it wouldn't work for specifically him, because they're very safe, they're very calculated, and they have to develop their new systems and their new processes for new people that don't know it. So they'll have to take a lot of kind of shortcuts,
right,
or they'll have to make compromises. So I think it depends on the need. Good processes to unnecessary stress. I think if you learn yourself as well, what's the good process of myself? I'm fast. I'm good. I'm not a good speaker. I'm shy, so I'm going to adapt my process to compromise and fit that. Or, hey, I talk really fast, so I'm going to practice slowing down. I'm going to practice my speech 50 times in the mirror and record myself, rather than just like, okay, I'm confident about it. I feel good about it. I have no secondary opinion on what it does, so I'm just going to go for it because I'm confident. And it's a complete, just useless speech that no one can understand. So I think I think you have to want to reach people instead of just, this is me, I'm getting my art out of it. If you don't like me, screw you.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever let anyone tell you not be who you. Always be yourself. No, you need to get good processes. You need to get good practice. You need to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course.
Yeah, I do a lot.
Pay attention to the results.
Yeah.
Because they can't lie to you.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of trial and error.
Yep. That's how it always begins.
Yeah. It's very straightforward. A lot of people still, I know people every time, but they have a hope, or they have a trauma of, I need to do this. I need to make music. I need to write a book. I know it's failed every time, but I need to do it.
Yes.
Because it'll complete a trauma.
Yeah. No, continue what you were saying.
Yeah, and they'll mess up their record. I know people. They are trying to. They know it sucks to the point where they steal music and pretend it's theirs, and it doesn't work at all.
Nope.
But they keep trying it. They keep trying it because they have to. They have to complete their dream because it's all they have. Only thing that brings them joy. Yeah, I can get as big as Justin Bieber. Whatever. Because that vision is so great and for meaningless. Because they've never explored, they've never gone through the practice of joys, they've never gone out of their comfort setting, seen the results and say, I don't like these results. I hate them so much.
Yep.
I don't want to live like this. As opposed to, oh, I know. So, dude, it's hard.
Yeah.
And I will never mock a bird. So,
True.
down to every person that told me, every person that lies, I don't know. But I see this. And it's not. And I actually care about people. So, like, have bad results or have a family. I can't afford to lose my job. So I'm going to get better and practice new things. I think it's as simple as that. You have to want it.
Yep. As always essential. If you don't want to be honest, you won't.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't need to be honest, you won't.
And you shouldn't deny the only guide that can bring. I think honesty is the first correct answer. Yeah.
I don't think liars heal their trauma. I don't think you can adapt to reality. Fabricating. You'll just become a big lie. Everything you do, you'll just be a pathological liar.
Yep.
There's politics like that. There's friends I know that.
Yep.
Most of society, masks we wear, I think most of society is like that.
I've noticed
down
that.
To the Gucci belt or the Nike.
Yep.
Even if it's a crappy shoe, it's still Nike. That's my process.
Yep.
So I gotta wear it.
Yeah. All the real ones I know, they're not afraid to make their own brand of shoe. They're not afraid to make their own brand of sweater. They're not afraid to make their own brand of pants and all these other things. One of these people, I'm gonna send you. Do you have Instagram?
I do.
All right, cool. I'm gonna send you an Instagram link to this guy. He does a lot of good work, and he gets paid by parents and offices to go and lift their spirits up with his energy. His name is World Peace Jesus. And he'll dance with people in the office or dance with people's kids and he just does honest good work. He shows people how he works out, how he doesn't just focus on bulk but also toning, efficiency. Like, he's not afraid to have no weights on the bar and do a bunch of reps. Because he knows that's still good.
That would be a job finish.
Yeah. No, he looks like he really enjoys it. So, yeah. But yeah, I got introduced to this guy from another person I met on the bus by starting a conversation with him.
Oh, you met him, nice.
Yeah. I haven't met World Peace Jesus in person, but I've chatted with him. I've sent him some of my work. He's busy, so he hasn't responded yet, and I totally understand.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm just some guy on Instagram. Totally fair.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I look forward to his response when that happens. And yeah, if you want to check out his work, he's on Instagram
Yeah, I'm down.
and he puts a lot of good work.
Yeah, I'll text you my Instagram.
Yep. I'll send that to you after this call.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, good process. They prevent unnecessary stress. So the only way to deal with bad results is to start with what's leading them, the principles. If you don't have good principles, it's not going to help. It's not going to help your
Yeah.
practice. It's not going to help your values that come out of it. It's just not going to help. So you have to address your principles. You have to understand what you hold inside yourself as an answer, and you have to check it, because that's what guides the principles.
I agree.
Yep, it's solving the problem at the root so the plant grow properly.
Sometimes it grows too late because it's working so far. Oh, the plant's growing straight so far. Why should I move the weed? It's working.
Yeah, exactly. Even though the weed is sucking the life around all the other plants, because they get their nutrients from the soil, the minerals, and everything else, and then the rest is photosynthesis, so that way they can get sugars and continue to grow.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a lot of the today's society. No, the weed too. The weeds need too, or bot lives matter
Yeah.
too. Bot rights too. So it's in gardener saying actually this is enough because I can't promote something that's unhealthy to humanity. Instead, it's like no, we need it. Sake of love would do that.
And
This
every
person is
time I hear that
violent.
answer, it's always when they're proving they're in naivety and not empathy.
Yeah.
They went way too far. Now they're
Yeah.
getting negative results.
Yeah, history it never worked. People don't study history. It literally repeats.
Exactly, but it's never
It's
the
never
same,
worked.
but it rhymes.
Yeah.
Yep. Another popular streamer on this platform once said that, and it stuck with me because it was honest. His name was Asmund Gold, and I think the gold is coming from his honesty. Does he have opinions people don't agree with? Of course, everyone does. You search people's opinions enough, you'll find something you don't agree with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't consider like having an opinion that's not popular as bad. Because a lot of things that are popular are actually not healthy.
Yeah. I agree. I write music as well, and throughout my studying other write music, it always starts out really good. I don't even think I want to name. There's very famous artists that
Only
start
do
out
it if
so
it's
good,
necessary.
and then they sell out. You're definitely forced to write music. It's definitely not coming. It's definitely not art to you anymore. It's a paycheck.
Yeah, now the process is broken. Soul is being taken out of it. Why? Someone decided to put cash mathematically above their conscious. Like cash, mind, consciousness under, when it's supposed to be the other way. So your consciousness can stand on your good work and the rewards you give.
Yeah.
That is the correct mathematical way to be a conscious being and use money in society. People will sell out, like you say, with that, because they think the cash is more important than they're actually producing it.
Cash becomes the goal because of how much it saved them or how
Yep.
much it did for them. Oh, I was a street rapper and I was a tough time. Get all this money, did great. So now it's all like that tattoo of the dollar sign right there.
Yep. Like Kanye West is a good example of a good person gone corrupt.
Yeah.
And on the opposite end, let's see, J. Cole is a good example. Someone says, I don't, I want it.
Yeah. And it's like the real too. Oh, he's popular. I'll listen to him. But people that are like, oh no, I actually want to be with someone who's more than this. But that's not popular.
No, it's not. It's not popular to say, in order for me to grow my cat, I must grow my consciousness first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the other way is more popular right now. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I like the weed analogy.
Yes.
Taking out the weeds for the thing, because it's, if you think about it like a brain too, it's like if you don't take out that weed, that greed factor early,
Yep.
The plant will grow.
That's
I
right.
think J. Cole has enough weeds that he's taken out, which is probably a result of the conflict in their life, rather than search for comfort.
Yes. For me, the main thing I learned from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, have you ever watched that?
Yes, I have.
Alright, did you complete it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you gotta complete it. I don't want to spoil this, so I'll use a different example. Because I was going to use the ending of the story, because the endings of the story tell the most about what was the whole time. Just like how Darth Vader, in the end, goes, no amount of power or authority is actually worth my son, and proved he was the chosen one the whole time.
Yeah.
He just forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny.
And that's why Luke didn't have to save him anymore, because he chose to save himself, and he saved his son in the process, and Luke already did. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, it's funny how many, because the brain has like,
right.
Oh, I have a dream, I got a bodybuilder. Oh, now I'm a bodybuilder. What's next? Or I need to get a girlfriend. I need to have kids. I need to have more. I need to retire. And that you just keep getting completion factors.
Yeah.
But you can develop your entire belief system and ideology based from my whole life is my career. And once you complete that enough times, once you get so much money, or oh, I have a beautiful wife, what's next? I need money. Oh, I have beautiful kids. And the completion cycle, if there's no peace that comes with that passion, you'll be a 40-year-old guy who is just, actually none of the material things matter, and I am in search for something. And you have a midlife crisis, but if you start with soul, if you start with getting those weeds out early, first you have to want to, you have to identify, I'm a creep, I'm a bad person, people don't like me, they love me, but you have to want to be a good person, you have to focus on who you are. I think that's a big thing to see in Western culture and modern society. Everyone is focused on what they have, how they appear. No one focuses on, I'm okay with being just bring in my life that resonates. But you have to be, I think like J. Cole, you have to have gone through a lot to develop the strength to be brave enough to want to be a good person is a nice blanket statement, but it's hard practically.
It's hard for the results to be real.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
It's a lot of results. Embarrassing times.
Of course, because you make mistakes and people like to make fun of you for that happens.
If you care about the results on the balance of just your personal gain, I think that's the strongest.
I agree. Alright, we are like 8 minutes until it's like 2 o'clock. Do you need to go after that?
I do not. Do you need to go?
Alright, no worries. I don't mind having you on for like the rest of this as we go through these concepts. Is there... I mean, this is a much smaller concept than the last one, but do you feel like we've kind of raced the circumference on this? Like we've gone through everything that's necessary?
I think there's always more.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, because one thing I've noticed is that concepts aren't flat. Yes, there's two sides to them, but they're spheres, and different questions lead you on different journeys.
Yeah,
For me, the first circumference I want to figure out is the line that separates the two halves of the concept, because every concept has a different opposite on the other side of the concept. So, like for example, good work is cooperative with good criticism. You can look on the other side of that concept. Bad work is disruptive because it produces bad criticism. They're both true, and they're both the same concept. It's just like completion is the goal, and the opposite end of that is zero is where you must start.
yeah,
But it's the same concept, just two different
yeah,
sides. And you can trace it with different questions and do different journeys and get that thing fully. But I think
yeah.
the first thing to do is to do the first one that separates both.
Is that
For me, it's finding the correct diameter. Understand the correct diameter, the concept. Then you can use it as a talking point, trace that concept through the circumference. It also gives you an accurate measurement of the size of that concept because there are different size concepts. But the
do you think
diameter
those
can give you an
concepts?
accurate measurement. But yeah, go ahead.
Do you think the circle diameter expands based on your information?
It depends on what is actually true, because what is actually true will tell you the bounds of that necessity for that concept. I think it grows within different domains. I think it becomes more powerful when you bring the right truth in the right domain. And in that sense, it grows, but I don't think in size, but in value, in the results you get out of it.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
So it's not about quantity and size, it's about quality, the depth, the density, the value you get out of its utility. That is always more important. That's why these things are precious. These are the things that I could actually correct. That is the most important thing to learn, my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
And isn't it much better to have that before compared to trying to figure it on the way?
yeah.
And
You
that's
have to
why I
understand
agree
kids.
with what your statement. Yeah, we are rushing into kids way too fast. We're going from what's sexually mature and saying that's true for the soul as not the answer.
Yeah, I think anyone that is scared to be a dad will probably be a dad.
I agree. I agree with
Yeah,
that. Anyone that doesn't care, I'm not so confident.
yeah.
It
Like,
is about what you use, how you use it, what it is, that ultimately determines your. So like you can have a bunch of negative, you know how to use it and still son as correct as you can even.
as you can. Yeah,
It's how you throw it around. What it is.
yeah,
Yep. So yeah, I think we've kind of covered at least what I think is essential first ring, in my opinion. It might not be true for someone else because we are all life and we are all variation, good or bad. I'm gonna try and move on to the next topic because that I'm not gonna lie. This is more than what I'm usually getting done when I'm alone. When I'm alone, like last time, I got through 4 in 4 hours. But I was also doing other things, like watching the video that was sent by my mom and going over that because it was very useful information. Very useful. And I'm really glad I have people like that around me who will tell me, hey, this is something you need to look at, because other people won't, and when they do, they're not being completely honest. And I love my mod because he chooses to be honest. The moment I gave him the sword, which means you can moderate the stream, he said, you can't give me this. I am more corrupt than Donald Trump. I'm like, this is exactly why you need this sword. Because you are honest. You are honest and you are gonna do what's most true. Especially more than other people that are choosing to be dishonest. So you have to be the best mod. And he's like, I can't. I have the disease. I'm like, what? I have the ligma. And I was in serious mode, so I totally fell for it, and he scored points. And he earned it. He earned it. I fell for it. I fell for it live on stream. Best mod. The best mod. Sorry I'm not giving you as much attention as you probably need. I'm just caught up in the moment. But yeah, the stream, I have the chat and the Discord right there. And obviously I'm not focused on it as I should be. But I think they'll understand.
Do you usually answer people when they
ask
questions?
Oh yeah, because like over here, usually it'll pop up over here. So like I have 2 different boxes, one for my Discord over here, and one for the chat. So it'll pop up here, it'll pop up over here. So the main problem was today my screen kept freezing because I was using Microsoft Edge. Because it's such a bad program. It's such a bad program. It can't handle me doing the dictionary. On one tab. On one tab.
I used to work at the Bill Gates Foundation, and they're like Microsoft. No one would use Microsoft. They would all use Google Chrome. Like
That's right. That's right. Well, let's see. Oh man, I'd love to get sidetracked and go over Bill, especially the things that
Let's not today.
Let's not today. Yeah. Yeah, especially about him being possibly on a certain list that none of the other rich people. I don't think. But yep, we're gonna move past that. We can say that for another day. And right now we'll just go over how another true concept. Everything must be earned, but first it must be learned. Which is the whole reason I do this. To help people learn, if that's something they choose is valuable. Because I can't do anything about that. If they don't see the value in it, they won't pick it up. In fact, they'll use all their emotional answers to tell me exactly why I'm this and that, why I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, why I deserve punishment via some sort of authority. Yeah, it's the same predictable, ignorant script every single time. And then they wonder why they don't get different results. They choose insanity when I choose reliable processes with little bits of improvement along the way. I do isn't insane. It cleans the sidewalk.
Yeah. Hard part. A narcissist.
Right. Which is so common. It's so common.
Yeah, because a lot of people say they're narcissists.
Yeah.
And their result. I do. Why should I switch up what I'm doing?
Well, those results aren't because of your narcissist attitude, because of all the other things you've learned are using that are called correct answers. That's the reason.
Yeah.
And I always try to tell them, as best as well as I can give it in hopes that they can receive it. If you
In hopes that
drop
they
that
can receive
narcissist stuff, your results will only improve.
Yeah. Care about certain results you're getting. Unless
Exactly.
yeah, it's like, that's great, you're making anyone fear. But no one likes you. Always have. It's working. All your peers like you. You're making money. You're so stressed. You even know this about it. You don't even see new results you can get. I think that's more happening. It's like, look, I'm wearing Nike, I'm wearing G. The loudest in the club. I can yell when I hold a beer. Likes me, but I go out of the club. A mask stopped all my happy chemicals from sticking. And yeah, I think that's more of what's going on in society. The results are working. It's just, it's a bad planet.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. When people don't accept the reality of what. Yeah. Doesn't help.
Yeah.
Doesn't help with results.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't hate the country. I don't hate the government. I don't hate its people. Because the American flag to me represents all its people.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I don't want to turn it the color black or burn it or do any of that nonsense that I see these highlighter hair tests.
Yeah.
And I will say what I believe is the full truth of the highlighter is a phase, and it's good when you go through it and you pass it. But when you say this is who I am, and this is what I be, this is what. Here's the reality of it. No one is born naturally with highlighter hair. Why are you trying to represent something that isn't it?
I think this is certain. I agree. And I think a lot of what we control, but it's necessary. Like, putting our hair,
Yes.
shaving our
Yes. But it does a
But it's
specific
necessary.
function. When my hair is
Yeah,
this short,
function.
it's not gonna hit my. If the wind
Yeah.
blows, it's not gonna blow into my eyes. I can see better. It has a good function. Obviously, I could do a better style, but this is my bedhead. So.
I mean, I was in fashion and it's nice to express the extravagant. There's a cause of spitting in the face of people force you to do what's normal. But yeah, there is what you're doing, making a stand for everybody to do, like everyone. It goes to the extremes. I remember someone was telling me like everyone needs to be overweight because like we're not.
Whoa. Is
You're
this some
out.
fat pride thing?
I don't know. It
Or I'll say it as it
you're
is because some people see fat as offensive. Is this an obesity pride situation, which is like obesity bragging?
It was in a coffee shop. They were saying how there's such abuse towards people that are overweight. So everyone just needs to be overweight. So he managed to get over it. That's the drastic.
That is some Wall-E nonsense thinking. He wants the world of Wall-E.
Yeah.
I don't.
It comes from a good place. It comes from, in a weird way. It comes from a good place.
Convenience doesn't always equal good.
To be nicer. Yeah, I agree.
But go ahead.
From the heart, it's probably a place there. It's
Yeah.
like I think every radical extremist, something's got to give. Oh, you're not like people that lay down in the fight for their.
That is not a good way to protest.
There's better ways. It gets attention, but you just get you. There's
For
better
me,
ways
that
of
is like
proving a
extreme low level version of terrorism. This is what I mean. I'm gonna use the definition of the word. You take a political idea, use it to justify attacking non-combatants and like standing in the highway and blocking everyone in the street. That is attacking them in their process of getting to work or a hospital or wherever they need to go.
Yeah.
You're attacking their time, which is the most valuable thing we have next to our life. is obviously more important.
They value whatever
Yeah.
deeming as
or
as more
throwing
important.
tomato paste on art and saying it's made with oils and oils is bad because oil companies are bad. Or saying I'm gonna go surround and block the pipe thing using kayaks that are made with oil.
Yeah, it's in a weird way, like I said.
It always comes from hypocrisy, and they're blinded by their own political views and their emotional gratification answers that they used to justify. Yep.
Yeah. Same with the dad throwing. My kids are playing Xbox and skipping school. I'm gonna throw the TV off the porch. I'm gonna throw the Xbox off the porch. Stuff like that.
What a waste of money. Why didn't they just try to sell it to someone else?
It's like it starts from.
If you want to do wrong, at least make some money.
Yeah.
You know.
Can you? Oh man. Yeah. I don't think dads even know how to work offer up Facebook Marketplace or eBay, so I don't think that was.
Well, I think probably not bad dad. Good dads, they probably do because they're like, why throw this away if someone.
Yeah.
But they're safe and public space and prepared just in case. Yeah.
But I think the point is everything in here stems from a good place. Kind of like Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
But then you find out people using the money to buy mansions and not even giving it to the community. I'm like,
exactly.
Okay, you took something that was pure and for every problem you
yeah, because you know what that was? It wasn't a value exchange, it was a value extraction.
Yeah.
They used the emotional gratifying answer to rally up people to get donations and donations they want.
Yeah,
and it's been proven.
It's corruption. It's corruption. It leaks into a good place.
Exactly.
Same with Martin at his rallies, where people really, hey, this is a good excuse. Eat up.
Yeah.
And they would go on his rallies, like purposely looking for people to like protest against their protest. And I'm like, you're missing the whole point if that's why you're coming to a protest.
Yes, and it wasn't just them. Because they had demonstrations and they had to link arms while the government at the time was using water hoses to push them to try and get them to be violent so they can justify arresting them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other acts like that. Not to mention the main enforcement of racist cult mindsets, KKK. They were doing a lot of hunts at night.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I'm not even gonna.
Oh no.
But no.
There's no good cause if you have to completely cover who you are and say this is what I'm doing. This represents my.
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't. Yeah. To correct myself, every radical extremist movement that comes from a good place.
Right.
But yeah. In their brains, probably it came from a good place.
Oh yeah. They want to believe they're special. And that led them to thinking, if they're different than me, they're not as special as me. And the people that look like me, yeah.
Be special enough to actually send food.
I've always wondered if Africa didn't suffer through the genocides they went through, would it even?
I have educated myself enough to have.
Look at the origins of how Africa. It's very bloody.
All that. People think that stuff doesn't exist.
Oh. Tell them. Things don't go away. Evil doesn't die. It goes back to the dark and to assumption with new tricks.
Different. That's why I like how I had the same darkness as Mussolini or Hitler. How every time I don't know what practically, but everyone has stuff. It's the same brain, it's the same equation, just different degree. It's like I'm not gonna go kill someone. I'll totally car keys and crazy, so they'll like miss out on work, stuff like that. It's the same spirit behind it.
Yeah,
And given
malicious
the right
intent
circumstances.
to
Yeah,
justify their emotion.
yeah. Nice to have the extremist factors. Yeah. What in your life is extreme? Sure, everyone has. No one wants to look at it.
Yep. It is what it is. Getting back to the topic, why do you think everything must be good? Why do you think that is the format that reality tells us is?
I think in order to, I don't know how else to say this, I'm sure there's a better phrasing. I think for and able to identify with something, you have to be that. You have to experience that. I even look at the Bible.
Yes.
I'm not religious in any way.
Me neither.
But I
I'm
look at the
omnistic
Bible.
myself. Go on.
Yeah, how they say the fathers build nations under the Bible, and by the third generation it's lost because they build statues to say remember this, and the children never experience the sacrifice. So they say, what mean it stones? What does this mean? And by the third generation, we don't need that. It's just a stone. It's like you have to experience it. Even like anthropology of the topic.
Oh, I need to
You
look
have
this up.
you have something like when you close your eyes and think of God or the universe, you could think of the sky, a guy with a halo and a sash. You could think of space. You could think of Mother Nature. That's an icon, representation of something your brain can't think of. So instead of experiencing the meaning or okay, I experience love, I experience heartbreak, you base your ideology off of that. So now people literally start believing God is Buddha, or oh no, God is a white guy up in
Yeah.
space with a halo.
Oh yeah,
And
the guy born in
they
Bethlehem is a white guy.
Yeah, no, exactly. So they miss out on the haven't experienced what it took to get there. They haven't, as they say, picked up their cross and
Yeah.
searched themselves.
They haven't carried it.
And I have to identified with the blood of Christ, and they haven't identified with the pain. So they're just going on the icon.
Yep.
They don't understand the pain. Understand. So you have to. I think in the sense of you have to experience it. Like I'm not going to vote politics. I've never been. Or I'm not going to vote on farmers. I'm a farmer. So I think you
That
have
sounds
to
like a lack of empathy.
earn. Yeah. I think it's very normal in politics. I think that's why community-based, like the town hall versus the big political summits are better, because you have like, oh, you're a mother voting on mothers. Or, oh, you're a farmer voting on farmers. Oh, you're a hunter. Yeah, let's just make bows illegal, because like they're not safe. Not realizing that like all the hunters used bows back in the day. So you have to earn the experience to identify it and change it and see if it's good for the community, see if it's good for humanity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing, man. This has been amazing. I definitely would love to have you back on any other time you want to come on. This has been amazing. This went even better than I thought. Yeah, and I'm thinking we'll cover one more and then we'll call it.
Let's do it.
All right. This one is so important because this addresses directly the problem of our modern times, especially in politics, schools, everything else that they have made intersectional, because that is part of their practice. And I pulled up, see it, because they're proud of their practices. They want everyone to do it, but then they don't check, because in step 2 you can see they're lying. So easy to. But people don't. When they believe it, just take it as the emotional gratifying answer that they want to believe, and then start doing things for the people. because they think it justifies. So this is the next topic. Here we go. This is the next topic. Martin Luther King's dream is not broken. I will not let anti-racism try to fix it. Your thoughts?
Martin Luther King's dream is not broken. I will not.
I don't want any form of social government or any other kind of form of segregation to return to this country, because that is breaking a very good, very real dream with very real good results.
Yeah.
It's coming out of naivety. I want to be important in time while skipping steps.
I don't have too big of an on race matters just because I'm not involved in it. But I
Understandable.
I do think that it kind of ties into the last talking about. Make a good cause and it comes itself with time.
Exactly.
I think it's like it's to say, hey, I've been to Arkansas and I have seen racism.
Yes.
And to hand, it's not dead.
Yes, and racism will never die. Do you know why? Because it's a bad idea and anyone can pick up a bad idea and start using it.
In our survival mechanism DNA. I wouldn't quote me on that, but I think there's a study where it's in certain DNA bases.
Yes.
But yeah,
I think that's called a bias, and if you bring your bias out of the bounds of necessity and start practicing discrimination, that is when it becomes stacked. Because everyone deserves their preferences. I prefer to have sex with these kind of women over these kind of women. Whether that's based on race, whether that's based on work ethic, whether that's based on their care they give to themselves and kids. All these things are factors. All these things are preferences and biases for, and a bias isn't bad when it's in the realm of bias.
When it's used correctly. There's a lot of they're like, I'm not racist, but I do.
Like, for example, I hate racist jokes because they're not even funny. But I love race jokes because they're hilarious.
Yeah.
So here's a good example. Dave Chappelle tells race and sex jokes. They're hilarious. And there's no shame in me admitting that, because I know it's fucking true that it's funny. It's absurd. That's why we laugh. But what's not funny is racist jokes. What's an example of that? The guy that was on Seinfeld and did a stand-up and made a very bad, not funny joke at all. If you've never seen it, look up that guy that has the weird crazy hair from Seinfeld. It's not the main character. It's like the crazy looking character. He did a stand-up. And that's why he doesn't have a career anymore. Because he did racist jokes thinking they were the same thing as race jokes. And then you know what the main difference is? To real, honest people, racist jokes are race jokes are fun. Some people can't handle race jokes and try to attack and cancel the person that runs the show, and they're an audience member and don't have that authority, but they want to believe they do. And they always end up looking more absurd than the person telling good race jokes. And that's what I mean. It's okay that we're all different. It's okay that we all have preferences. It's how we use it and whether we're in the bounds of that necessity. Which reality always tells us the truth. It's just whether or not we're listening, paying attention, accepting it.
Necessity and empathy. Because necessity could be created
they
from
work
your personal,
hand in hand.
Yeah, just like, hey, I need this. so this is necessary for
Yeah.
me.
When is it good to take?
No.
When it's good for your sake. The sake of someone that is necessary.
Yeah,
Why?
for the sake of others too.
Yes.
I forgot who it was. It was someone that respectfully said, "How you angry? You stop talking about it." No, it wasn't.
Oh, you're talking about Morgan Freeman.
That's it.
Denzel Washington also does that with the media.
Yeah, and Denzel. It's like, you stop talking about it. It's not a white man walking into an alley.
Yeah.
It's a man walking. It's not a black man.
I think Morgan Freeman.
It's a man enters.
Yeah, I think Morgan Freeman is a successful person because he uses correct answers, not just emotionally gratifying ones. And that's why he can make the media with their emotionally gratifying answers so they could sell it to the public look foolish to real, authentic people. Then the others say, oh, he's not on our side because he's not agreeing with our feelings.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
Do you think people are
Go ahead.
completely blind to their racism? Or just like, I'd never
for me, it's a matter of, are they the tricked or the trickster?
Think you can be both?
I think you can become tricked and become the trickster, for sure. But who's tricking most of the people? Who's really leading the people? Because for me, the Nazi Party, it was Hitler. He was the most responsible.
Yeah.
And
not to mention,
racism is no different. Anti-racism. Because if anti-racism was the correct answer, why didn't Martin Luther? Why didn't Abraham Lincoln use it to? Why didn't Harriet Tubman use it to justify killing the slavers in their sleep instead of just escaping to and then you possibly get lost? Maybe because racism at its core is not serious. I think it's an emotionally gratifying response to the reality of racism.
Yeah.
Rather than the correct answer to help us get there. I think all the real honest people will. The rest will make their own decision. For me, it's not about convincing everyone. I just want to get back to half. I think that's possible. Because history proved it was past. We need to accept and learn lessons of history so we can gain the insight to see the present more clearly and understand what future might be heading toward.
Yeah.
I think that's a correct order of operation.
Yeah. I think there is a spiritual direction in the sense that the younger generation are realizing that material is gonna cut it.
Oh yeah.
It's like back in the day, the American dream was great. Start your own, get a house, blah blah.
Have a car, have a family. Yeah. Have insurance to cover it all.
I don't. They need a new dream.
That's right.
All right, yeah. I think the movement.
And I think the honest people will lead the way.
Yeah, or at least show people, hey, this is.
Especially when they form good organization, become even more effective towards their common goal of a better world, where their better good kids can live there.
Yeah.
They choose it's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. I say there's no reason we should see the light. Which one is going to?
Yeah. Part of it is because it's who we are to show others. Right. And I don't think there's many people like that in society. It's not popular until it's popular
For
to
me,
value intelligence.
it's a matter of it's not popular yet.
Yeah, yeah,
I think we can, but only with the and we.
yeah. Correct. I think it could mean to many people.
Yes, but reality tells us what. Tells us this is correct here. This is not correct there. This is correct here. This is not correct there. It's all a matter of attention, listening, learning, responding in accordance to circumstance. Adults can't. Only people's names can start doing.
Yeah.
Dogs and flying dogs. It's lying.
Yeah. I think humans have the luxury of
Yeah,
trickery.
the consciousness level deceive themselves and therefore others.
I mean, I mean, even snakes play dead. Certain animals play dead. Their prey comes and then eat them. So, but yeah.
Oh yeah, but would you want to be
Totally
guided by a
fucking itself.
snake or a good shepherd? Because there will be sheep.
Yeah.
I think we all
I think
start as
educating
that,
people.
like metaphorically.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think we need to educate people that it's okay to be different. It's okay to transmutate to become something different. Oh, changing your opinion based on information is embarrassing. You're not gonna be like, I'm sorry I said that.
No choice.
Yeah, publican and be like, actually, we're ignorant. Vice versa. Or
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of any party because of this new information.
For me, it's a
I think
matter
everyone-
of what's the core of that party. Is the core good? If the core is good, I'm not worried about the extremes on the edge, because people always pick sans.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like the core of the Republican Party is at least defined. Whereas I feel modern times, the core of the Democratic Party has become corrupt because of its anti-racism and its practices.
I think there's smarter men,
Oh yes,
intelligent men than you and I that are just, so I'm
Yes.
always open. And I know that half the stupid, half is totally fine. I think.
Oh wow, that's cool ass effect. Nice. I don't know how you did that. That was really cool.
I think that's automatic.
That was cool.
Major.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's certain people I'm open to that, and I'm not God. Alright, guys, so I'm not gonna say that everything I say is right.
Yep.
I think a culture like that is change. It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're not getting canceled. You're political in 2012 and you didn't know the full story.
Yeah.
And educating people that you should know the whole story. Even verbalizing like, hey, I'm not educated on this enough to have an opinion, but from my understanding, this is what I think. Even that statement is so rare.
I know, because it requires courage and honesty.
Have you heard of I think it's the vanilla ice cream theory. I'm sure there's other stories for this, but the caveman, he's only eaten dead bats and ants, and an explorer gives him an ice cream. Basic. But the caveman is the best thing he tried.
Yeah.
So he's like raving about it. He's like, oh, you don't know this. And the other explorers are trying to give him other ice cream or cake or this or that. Or
But
a
he
bunch
just
of cool
wants
stuff.
the vanilla.
But he's only the vanilla. You don't know what this ice cream did to me. You don't know how it changed my life. And he's only heart set on it's an emotional factor too that your belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not open to information and it makes me feel something, still doesn't mean it's okay or correct.
That's right.
So I'm always open. It's open.
Yep.
Maybe there's a reason why you don't Trump. Maybe there's a reason why you Trump. Maybe there's a reason why you
Yeah.
all three are.
Personally, I feel positive about our current president. That is my understanding. I don't think he understands that you don't have a one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to commerce, especially international commerce. Tariffs can't solve everything. Not a one-size-fits answer, and we will see negative results coming in and going out because of that naive application. That is what I'm upset about. I don't think Tesla is a bad car and deserves terrorist actions. I don't think the people that own it deserve that. I don't think that keying someone's car proves that it's a bad car. I think you just proved that you're a bad person and you'll vandalize people's cars because you don't like a person on TV.
Yeah, I think it's the same as sitting in front of a bridge blocking like innocent, hardworking people in traffic. But
Yeah.
I do know that to this subject,
Yes.
so I'm probably not going to have an opinion until I hear other people's opinion. So when it comes to politics, I'm sure there's reasons why people hate
Fair
Trump.
enough. For me, I'm under the section of politics because I felt that was the most relevant thing, and I just decided I'm going to just be as honest as I can be. Not going to drop it for anything. And wouldn't you know it, my mod hands me these beautiful comments like, "You are the most honest person on politics in Twitch." And I'm like, that's awesome. That is the coolest statement I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was in here, because you said a comment that was so controversial, but you said, but even that's my. So it's like in every and bad, doesn't matter if it's, oh, this is obvious. No, it's not. It's just my opinion.
Yes.
Like, we're here to love people. That's just my opinion. And that's the absolute, that's the kind of spirit that people need.
Thank you. Try my best. I try to protect my identity by calling myself Modern Anomaly because I've identified that being fully, completely honest this time kind of makes you a modern anomaly.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
But I mean, hey, Socrates said, everything. And that's kind of what get answers to everything.
Yep. And the correct answers do exist. We're just waiting for someone to pick it up and use it.
Yeah. So have a bubble of knowledge that's ever expanding.
Of course, the collective conscious is real. But that is different group thing.
Oh yeah, expand entirely.
I think I'm going to do a compare and contrast on that. I don't want people to get I'm not going to do it right now because I just want to complete the circumference of this. I think the best way to complete it is, do you have access to my stream? Because I'm going to pull up the practices of antiracism. Alright. I'm going to attempt to this.
And go to sleep. Uppercut to the gut, damn, they gave him C-section. I fist fuck your face, nose bleeding like 11. Jaw cracking, pack snaps back with aggression. Left foot connections, full force, no discretion. Left foot connects, full force, no discretion. Yeah.
Six steps. You see the 6 steps?
Yes, I do.
The first one is to get your guard down because everyone wants to be educated, don't they? So they start with education. Because every cult has a trick. Put it in the beginning. I say this in confidence because I've already read through all the practices. Now read step 2. After you've been educated, understanding the definition of races, what do they say you have to do and say it's the correct answer?
Stop saying that.
That true for everyone that's not practicing the principle, the practices, the values, the amount of racism. Is that true for them to say that they're not who they are? Because this is running off of an assumption. Do you want to know what the assumption is that they want you to really gratify and take it in as an answer? It says the whole country. And I'm like, that's not true. So,
Yeah.
that's not been true back then. How is it true now? When people aren't racist as they were back then.
Yeah.
How can the whole country be racist? I'm not racist. And I live. I don't think you're racist either. Because you confront your racist dad with the truth and accepts it because the truth is just more powerful. I hope that wasn't too personal.
Oh.
Okay, good.
I'm just reading.
No worries. And yes, when you get them to accept that answer, which is this is the goal of every real cult. Give them the emotional gratifying answer and justify it the way they really want to, and you'll be able to take away from them more than you ever thought possible.
Do you think that conscious people?
I think the people that know what they're doing and know the truth, but do it anyways and still promote it and trick people, those are the real tricksters. The rest are misguided leaders, and then under them are the tricked. So it's a hierarchy because it's a cult, and cults have hierarchies too.
There's one person who was a trickster, but lower doing the right thing. Because this person wasn't. He's the voice of God. He's telling them what to do. And they had a good one. There's some people who I'm like, wow.
I guarantee you, all the tricked, they're all trying to use this practice with good intention. But they just don't understand what they're doing. They didn't examine the principle practices like we only went to 2 steps and figured out they're lying to people based on exactly what the assumption is that built that trick. And there's 6 steps. 6th step is the reason why the Democratic Party got the results they got. Because 6th step says in their practices, champion anti-racist ideas and policy. That's something a cult does to gain access, take over the core. The Nazis do, but in a different level of extreme, with different assumptions, different tricks.
Do you think it's fixable, Trickster itself?
No. No, I don't think if you don't have to kill someone unnecessarily to solve a problem, that's not a real solution.
Not that.
That's not a real solution. No, I don't do political assassination. I do not promote political assassination.
No,
that is never acceptable.
No, I was saying if he removes himself from the situation and the lesser people that are the tricked or the misguided, do you think they can nurture it back to?
I don't think you can use a cult mindset to. I think what you want is a good team. A good team has different principles. A good team different. A good team has different values.
What if the trickster is saying we are a team and this is what we have to do? Methods of a cult mindset.
That is. And they're using their technology to trick the tricked.
Yeah. With the illusion of a team.
So, yes, it's eluded as a team, but it's not acting like a team, practicing like a team. It's not using the principles of a team. It's definitely not cults of a team.
Yeah, no. or it is, but I mean the
Uh,
results are there, but there's no
look at the
happiness
results
involved.
of 2024's election. They
Yeah,
lost the
I mean,
popular vote. They lost the electoral college. They lost the majority in the. They lost the majority in the Senate. Where
yeah.
is their victories?
I just mean the tricksters on
Yes,
from
yes,
what
of
I've seen.
course. Just as anti-racism is dominating the core of what was the Democratic Party, because people are starting to realize and wake up and they're dealing with it.
What
They're
was
bringing
the
it. Yeah,
yeah,
this is 2025. 2024 is over. We're only moving
yeah,
forward. And I've seen
yeah,
evidence. They are taking accountability. They are addressing what is happening. Lawyers are actually making cases about why this is discrimination, not justice. And that
yeah.
justice, it's saying, is a facade because they keep changing the definition of justice to be whatever they want. And usually put racial equity somewhere in that new description
Yeah,
of justice that they want to be true.
everyone out it.
Because I checked the dictionary, justice is the definition of justice is just behavior and treatment. That's justice. That's the actual definition of the word.
That's a scary thing if people think that
Yeah. Because the
everyone's got their own
emotionally
opinion on
gratifying
what justice.
answers are lies, born of emotion. And they manipulate the people that take in. And that's why manipulation comes out of them instead of good in.
So you think the emotions have to be a byproduct? Can't stem from if it's to get healthy,
I think
or like a good
emotion
outcome for
is the
everybody.
natural thing that we learn, deal with by understanding the dynamics of your how it works with courage. Is a healthy dynamic when both the courage is bounce and stupidity by far.
Balance, yeah. I like that.
Yes. And the
Because
only
emotions aren't
way,
bad.
yes, of course, the only way for you to do good courage is to practice good courage and learn what those boundaries are and when it goes too far.
Yeah, discipline comes in a lot.
Because without experience, you cannot understand the dynamics of different paths. And the heart has fear,
Yeah, it does.
anger, perspective, so that wants to say, I can do everything myself, so I can be proud about everything. But
Yep.
love, the
Yep.
reward for giving it what it needs, balance it. That
Yeah.
reward called love tells the ego the truth. You don't have to do everything yourself. Life is a competition and a cooperation. It has always
Yeah.
been both. I will
Yeah.
show you.
Yeah. How that time. Emotions aren't bad initially. It's like it's all we have. There's identifying. Hey, notice that I do this. I feel it. It's right. But I'm gonna practice soft speech. Practice the opposite to do. I think there's a balance of and comes in, but I don't think there's initially anything.
Yeah,
I think
no,
that's kind
I
of
don't
what
think
like
feeling emotions is bad. I think it's a learning process. And if you don't accept the learning process and do what is necessary to learn, you are skipping a very important step in a
yeah,
very
you'll
important
just
process for all life forms in order to actually have the potential to evolve to a higher state existence while still
yeah,
being one. All that is necessary. Our
yep,
lifespan.
yeah, and you'll teach a bad ideology from vibrational, just
Exactly.
like to your children,
Exactly.
to your friends.
Exactly. Because what you hold is what you can give.
Yeah, you do the work on that which you hold.
Hmm?
Kind of your responsibility. It's not
Exactly.
really any. say like, hey, my opponent and just do this to fix me and my people and my blah blah. No.
Yeah, for me, it's simplistic, and I try to keep it that way. I know the only way reality became complex is because it started with simplicity. Like for me, I know that reality and everything in it is 5 basic. Would you like me to go over this?
Go for it.
There is inanimate, things that don't the will of. There is us, animate, move with will of our own. There is space, the expansion of time. And the fifth is important zero, potential for new to be made. See what comes up.
Yeah. That's something that is zero, just the passion out of create. That's the. I think it's its own. Actually,
I believe so. I believe the rule.
Yeah.
It's beginning.
Yeah.
Completion.
Yeah.
Completion is achievable. Difficult.
Yeah.
I think completion means you got to understand all the truths in reality. It's conception. You need everything
It's not.
that makes you and nothing.
Yeah. First, you have to know. For all you.
Oh, I'm sure
Could've
he
felt
felt. Was he complete?
Yeah.
No. That's why I remind people, hey, you gotta weigh these concepts on the scale.
Yep.
Whether it came from the left hand, whether it came from the right hand, receive it from you. What it is what.
Yeah.
$1 is a good example of that. It doesn't change no matter how many hands it's exchanged. It's one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with concepts.
Yeah. Same thing. I'm. So this dollar means everything. Versus, I have $1 million. Dollar still stays. You know how you value it.
Yes.
And with ideology system, harming people, whether it gets passion, whether it's sad, it still harms.
It is what it is.
Outcome for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, a lot of ideas. I'm making money. That's what I hear that a lot.
What a naive statement.
Yeah, it's like, hey, dude, the value of your brain is still. No matter what information you have, doesn't matter the materialistic things that it has developed. It's still the same.
Yep. So yeah, if you're able to point at anything that isn't one of those 5 things, please let me know. I love good criticism. I love to understand more than just that.
I mean, there should always be another option other than just black and white. That's how we.
Of course, that's the colors.
Yeah.
After all, it's just an absence or existence of light.
Yeah. Questioning
Yep. But yeah, as far as I've tried to point at stuff, I've never pointed at nothing perfect. Complete and zero all day, I can in and sacrifice all day, because the real coins are the ones that will you.
Yeah.
Fake one, perfect and cultural, hold no value. The life better. Utility other than destruction. If it's a negative value currency, why would you?
Yeah, I think that's the same thought process too. Kind of like crypto.
Yes.
It was great. It made someone I know in Seattle like but it's no longer a thing.
Yeah, because times change. Yeah, times change, people change, and the results change.
expertise, they're worth it, but they have a long run effect. Is your thought process effect. It's getting you results now, but for the future.
Yep. I'm gonna try, and next time I have you on, I'm gonna try to make a Zoom call kind of situation and invite you on this, because the audio is like coming in and out dependent on like how close you are to your mic and like the volume of your voice and all these things. Oh yeah.
I got headphones.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I'm gonna change the format so that way my audience can get a better audio quality experience, and what you're saying is valuable. So
Gotcha.
they got what they got, but whatever they didn't get, it's because of
Fair.
what it is. So yeah, in short, I think if you check in your own free time these other practices, you will see these are the reasons the way things are in times, and that anti-racism is coming from the source. I'm honest enough, I can say it in my opinion. You do not need to reflect this. Feel comfortable. But I know exactly where these emotions are coming from, who holds them, because it's in the evidence of who is running on to racism and who they recruit in order to justify that's good.
Yeah.
It's coming from American Caucasian women feeling guilty about racism. A lot of people will say it, like comedians, but the general public is afraid to.
Yeah. Cancel culture kind of has it.
Because they think if they say it, they'll use that victim mentality to justify attacking again.
Yeah.
That's why I want the petition to hand over to them, so that way they see it's not just signature. It's reasoning, and it's the reasoning that will really break through, start down. And I'm telling you, more people that are free from this mindset. Yes, I have to actually leave at 3. That's when my stream is done. Yeah, let me know if I go past that time. Ooh, yeah, we have like 10 minutes.
Your clock is wrong.
Okay. I was going off of my recording time. I was a little late,
gotcha.
so that makes sense. Alright, yeah, just let me know. So yeah, to wrap all this up, I think we need good organization. I think that starts with real honest people. I think we should help real honest people in the group form good organization. Find the people who have the ability to be good activists and don't bother anyone busy, because when you're honest, it's a lot easier to tell who's really busy and who's on their free time.
Yeah.
And ask them, would you like to sign this petition? Let's have it all. The petition is 1 paragraph. We'll condense the truth right into there with all the correct answers. And we'll all peer review it before we push it out.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Yep. And all we need is just one signature with one reason why they signed it. And that I do stop the organizers promoting any form of segregation in this country. And that, because that I think killing anti-racism is achievable. It's like trying to kill an idea. It's not real.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
But we can definitely have a petition, stop the organizers, let the lawyers set the correct laws. There no segregation comes back, even social institute segregation.
Yeah.
Because good proms deserve real regulation. good attention. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. I think this wraps it up. I think we kind of understand what we can do in a practical way without hurting people to solve our problems.
Yeah.
Let's march like the good people before us. And do this, they're be civilized.
Hopefully.
All we can do is what we want to do. Don't want to be civilized, we walk away. If they don't want to listen, I suggest we give them a time. Say, fine, you can do what you want. But when you come over here for us to do these practices, we're leaving. We're done with you. Until you choose, ready to learn, and we will completely then. Till then, we have forgiven. Will not forget, and we are done with you. Because we want real results. Oh, thank you for joining me, Roman Mondragón. You have been one of the best people I've had on this, and I will get better production values next time because I look forward to the next time having you.
Thanks for having me. Definitely have me again.
Of course, any good time. So, have a good one.
You too.
Yep. And thank you, everyone, for joining me once again. I am Modern Anomaly. I hope you were able to hear all of that. If you weren't, I'm sorry. It is my fault. It is my own production values. And if you missed it, which I see there are not too many viewers around right now, don't worry. I will be clipping this and posting on YouTube and little clips for TikTok and everything else, and I will spread them on my social media platforms. So, have a good day. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day here in Tacoma, Washington, and I hope you enjoy it because every day we wake up is a good day. Peace, love, and good work to you, and always put it towards a good life. I'm out. Play with toys without it switching buttons that can taint the purest souls. We losing hope. Started when the government dispersed the coke. We thought that shit was dope so much so we put that in our